Hey everybody, a video called And It's For You. Terraria is a game that has taunted me from afar. Just 1 year ago, I asked all of you to pick out a game for me to play for the first time, and Terraria won with overwhelming support. I have seen this game time and time again, and it's kind of shocking that this one slipped by me through the years. You have to keep in mind, as time goes on, I've been playing less and less of the must-play games of both modern and classic gaming generations. Still though, I don't know why 10-year-old Dane didn't look into this one. So I sat down and played Terraria, and here is a newbie's perspective. Similar to 3D All-Stars, it's rare to see anyone be able to play a game so blindly and then constructively break it down. That's another reason this video took so long, is not only were there a lot of technical shortcomings, like look at this. Do you want to watch a video at the speed of a snail? Yeah. In addition though, this game and its community are massive. So many people from Let's Players, modders, have such a deep understanding of this game. Terraria is over 10 years old, and jumping into it for the first time is definitely a bit jarring. So please, I strongly urge you to both keep an open mind regarding my thoughts, and also not freak out over, OMG, you got the Terra Blade? Let me have a 40-minute discussion on why I think melee weapons are dumb. Like, no, this is not the time and place for it. I can't even remember how to make the Terra Blade. Oh, by the way, Shy Guy Mask helped me with this playthrough. Please say a hi.
Why, hello there, Shy Guy Mask.
Famous YouTuber and escaped convict Danerade.
Let me start off with some positives right off the bat. This game is absolutely gorgeous. The sprite work is so vivid and detailed and reminds me a lot of Super Mario Bros. 3. While yes, the vividness of the colors lends itself a lot more to the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis era, something about how well drawn the sprites are in Mario 3 and such little to work with reminds me a lot of Terraria and its sprite work. I think Mario 3's sprites are drawn a little better than Mario World's. The backgrounds are especially detailed, and the addition of particle effects is such a simple yet really impressive graphical showcase that I love as part of the game. It's pretty easy to see that both Terraria visually and gameplay-wise has changed so much over the years, and it's really awesome to see Relogic polish certain elements to keep in line with the next-gen consoles. The music is also a bop. The atmospheric tones each song emits perfectly encapsulates the environments they are paired with. If you listen to these tracks while never playing the game, you can still tell what they are trying to convey regarding the area themes they are associated with. The addition of a character creator is also well appreciated in my book, even if it doesn't matter that much in the greater context because the armor you will inevitably wear kind of masks your character. Okay, now let's get into the real nitty-gritty. What did a noob like me think of this game? Well, for one, I think it can universally be said that early game Terraria isn't really that fun. I think this can be said for most RPGs for that matter. Progression can feel slow and everything kills you in 1 or 2 hits. Well, okay, that's not entirely true. A lot of RPGs put you up against tutorial enemies, and this can also, in turn, make the gameplay feel slow and cumbersome, as a lot of the time they treat the player as though they have never played a video game. Looking at you, Pokemon. Terraria feels slow, but not for the usual conventional reasons. Early game Terraria does not hold your hand, and anything and everything will in fact kill you. While it's nice that the game doesn't treat you like a toddler, this consequently still makes the progression feel tedious, as you can't get much done without dying here or slowly walking and trying to explore the world. I think this is the reason why new players like myself can feel overwhelmed and warded off from continuing, just because the game, honest to god, has a pretty underwhelming start. Though in Terraria's defense, in the latest 1.4 update, they have somewhat addressed this problem with more ways to find items and a guide system. Still though, it seems like a lackadaisical fix to a problem that is rooted in the inherent design of the game itself. This point leads to a more fundamental problem with Terraria as a game and stands as my greatest criticism of the game. It is not at all friendly to new players. Even veteran players, don't lie, you look up a thing or two every once in a while. Terraria tells you absolutely nothing, which, sure, you can make the argument that's part of the design, how it is truly an open world sandbox for you to explore and find the secrets within. Terraria, though, has so many elements to it that plopping new players in without much guidance is a bit baffling, I could say. I suppose this is a natural progression of Terraria as a game, starting out as just a simple little pixel RPG romp that was extremely simple to its core. Relogic just kept adding new enemies, new weapons, new encounters, and to existing players who have played the game and have kept up with it for all these years, it's great for them. But for new players like myself, the overload of content is hard to wrap your head around. I only got through it all thanks to Shy Guy Masks' expertise. He did a great job not spoiling the events of the game and had me do things on my own. Still though, whether intentional or not, he still told me what to do and gave me random items he went out and found or crafted himself, which still added to some of the confusion as I have this OP weapon now, I guess. Thanks, Shy Guy Mask! Still though, the number of items in this game, while in my opinion being its biggest weakness, is also its biggest strength. There are so many different playstyles. You could go for a melee playstyle. Maybe you want something that heavily involves magic. Oh yeah, did I even mention the fact that there's magic in this game? Because, why not? The accessories component adds so much layer of customization as you truly feel like you cannot have the best of all worlds, and that's something that is lacking in most RPGs today. Similar to the Mario and Rabbids skill tree, you cannot have everything at your disposal, which makes players critically think about their arsenal. It just adds another layer of complexity, which I love and hate oh so much. Well, that's regarding classic mode at least. Expert and hardcore mode, on the other hand, can throw out what I just said. Yeah, so Terraria has quite a few difficulty options, which is great. More on that later. But after beating the wall of flesh on expert mode, you get an extra accessory slot. And in master mode, you straight up get an extra slot in the beginning in addition to the one dropped by the wall of flesh. No. Moving on, I think the enemy encounters need to be highlighted as they were such a joy. The range of creativity involved in all of them was so invigorating while fighting. The giant epileptic seizure. Slimes galore. These bosses are both fun and challenging, requiring strategy and perseverance. These guys are tough as nails, and their attack patterns are both inventive and tricky, and the game keeps a consistent enough pace to where it never quite feels like a boss rush, but to not where it is deprived in boss encounters either. Since this is an RPG, let's talk about that. So, I'm not much of an RPG guy. Yes, one of my favorite series of all time is an RPG. In some instances it is, but it's never really been my thing. The one thing I really liked about Terraria is that, again, if you know what you're doing, man, the progression in this game is smooth as butter. Not only are you always finding brand new items and accessories, but there is a clear sense of becoming stronger. Replaying older bosses becomes easier. Common enemies in the overworld get one-shotted. If there was ever a game where I could really feel the progression of the power and gear I was obtaining and utilizing, it would be this game. In a game like Paper Mario Color Splash, I don't really feel like I'm getting that much more powerful. Just that the game decides to give me better cards. Seriously, I think this aspect of Terraria doesn't get analyzed enough. There are no experience points in the game. It's just a sense that both the armor you obtain and the weapons you gather invoke. The actual progression of the game is far from linear. There literally isn't one clear strategy or combination of the game that is overwhelmingly the best, or at least I think. You have to adapt to what is given to you, and it is up to you as the player to deduce what is the best strategy to progress forward. Alright, well, what else? I mentioned this before, but Shy Guy Mask aided me in my quest to beat the game, and I can confidently say this is a fun multiplayer game. It's super easy to hop into anyone's world. And also, did I mention that Terraria is literally $10 and is on basically every single platform imaginable? It's on the 3DS for crying out loud. Minecraft can't even say that. Oh. The previously mentioned difficulty options are extremely nice, and it goes a lot deeper than simply, you take more damage. Weapons and items have different spawn rates, bosses have completely different attack patterns, and of course, the added difficulty of simply altered damage outputs puts a new layer of caution in any encounter. In expert mode. Yeah, this game has the extremity that is master mode, and no thank you. This mode does in fact stand by the moniker of you take more damage. The stats of the enemies in the mode are bloated beyond belief. None of the bosses get any new changes to them compared to expert mode, and with the exception of a couple of exclusive items here or there, it's basically the same as expert mode, but with such an extreme experience that it does not look appealing in any way. Now, I would make this out to be worse than it is, but you can just not play the mode and just stick to expert, so I really don't think it is the end-all be-all that many might want to make it out to be. And it's these additions, that being of the difficulty options and the inclusion of content-packed updates to the past decade, is what has kept Terraria alive and in the mainstream still. It is extremely rare to see games stay relevant for even 1, 2, 5 years for crying out loud, and an indie game at that. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know how to feel about this game. When I went into Terraria, I had no idea what to expect. I had nothing but my own imagination and curiosity leading me to figure out on my own. With Shy Guy Masks' help, of course. Despite all the points I listed as a positive, man, the very unfriendly nature of the game toward new players really outweighs any more positives I can give it. On a scale of 100 to 0, I'll tell you how much motivation I had to keep playing. Just take away the first 2 numbers and there's your answer, clear as day. This is a hard game. It does not hold your hand in any way, and its confusing elements mixed together, it can be frustrating. Whether it be a cheap death here, or simply going through another raid of the base to grind out that one item the enemies weren't dropping because of bad RNG. I want to love this game. I really do. But I can't help but sound like a broken record when I say that this game just wasn't that fun a lot of the time. And look, I get it. Terraria is honestly one of those games that I'm sure gets better with time, but come on. With 30 hours clocked in, while minuscule to a lot of you hardcore players, should be plenty of exposure to be able to deduce an opinion out of it. When Terraria got good, it really got good, especially nearing the end of the game. But for every awesome boss encounter, there was another moment where I am aimlessly building a giant platform from the sky. Whoa, whoa, whoa! And for that reason, I can't rate Terraria as highly as I'd like to. So for my final recommendation, I would play Terraria only alongside at least one other person who has a pretty vast knowledge of the game and its mechanics. If not that, it's going to result in a lot of YouTube searching and a lot less actual playing. But really, it's only like $10 and goes on sale periodically for even less, so you aren't losing that much buying it. Unless it's the Nintendo Switch version, which is $30 for some reason, you might be losing a lot if you don't like this game and buy it on there. A big thank you to Shy Guy Mask for putting up with me for like a month straight, and I will see you all in the next video.
Why hello, Shy Guy Mask.